Hey guys, how you doing? Today is November 10, Friday, and this is the first time we get the financial report from ARM after the launch of the stock. Actually, the performance is not good, right? But the stock price haven't been dropped a lot because we know that ARM is monopoly. Without her technology and without the software, then you cannot make the blueprint of the foundry of the chips, right? So the stock price dropped it, but not dropped a lot. And after studying the data, not a lot of data, just 2 pages, then I think that we still need to watch before we invest on this stock, right? Because of the U.S. conflict, right? We will come to that in a minute. So our Falcon portfolio been increased at just 2 more months than our Falcon portfolio been 5 years. Increased it from 35,000 US dollar to 62.3 thousand US dollar. That means increased it for this about 58 months, 70%, right? So if any of you want us to analyze on any stock, please leave your message under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by Usstockmarketweekly at gmail.com. And this is the US 10-year Treasury yield. Then down a bit, right? About 0.2%, right down to 4.612 just in 5 minutes before. And this is our covering. Then we still need to watch before we can invest on this stock. And after rising for continuous 8 days, then Dow Jones yesterday dropped it 220 points because Powell said then it may still put up the interest rate in December. So yesterday Dow Jones been dropped at 220 points. And Nasdaq been dropped at 120 points, but it doesn't matter because it rised more than 800 points in past 1 week already. This is our Falcon 350,000 portfolio, and this year, you can see that after the 1, 2, 3, 4 years, right? We only have 1 year that is a negative, is year 2022, right? And this year, our portfolio been up 34% from the end of 2022, right? So we go to some headlines first. And Powell said Fed is not confident it has done enough to bring the inflation down. That means in December, Fed may still put up the interest rate. Then I think that this is nonsense. Then US must stick to 2% of the inflation. Now it's 3 point something, right? So it's nonsense, right? Then next year is for the election year, right, of the president of US. So I don't think so. But we know that everything now Fed said is shaking the whole US economy, right? And then the investor immediately afraid that, oh, she's going to put up the interest rate in December or in January. So we see that the US market immediately has to respond, is dropped more than 220 points. And then China, because of the US conflict, and then you can see that SMIC posts a 80% drop in the third quarter profit, and also because of the cut of the subsidies from the China government. All right, then we will come across to the EV vehicle. Then it's very obvious. Before, China is doing the subsidies in all cylinders. Subsidized for anything that is export subsidized, right? For SMIC, nearly no profit. Before it's nearly no profit. And because of the subsidies, then it performs pretty good, right? But because now China's lack of money, so subsidies become smaller, and then if there is no subsidies, then you can see that the profit immediately drop 80%, right? And we come across to the EV, right? We know that now Tesla is going to put up the vehicle price. Why? Because of the policy. It's because that China doesn't have enough money for a subsidize. So Tesla, please put up your price. Right? If you put up the price, then China's vehicle is still cheaper than you. Then they may have a better sales than Tesla. So this is the philosophy behind. You can see that Li Auto is beating Tesla in EV sales, of course, because of subsidized. Then Li's EV vehicle price, selling price is cheaper than Tesla, and Tesla has tons of restrictions, right? Like you cannot go to the Sky Bridge, then you cannot go near to the government building. Anyway, like the any others enterprises that is related to the government, then you cannot use the Tesla. You cannot park it, cannot nearby because afraid you will collect the information and then send back to US. So that's a must, right? So you can see that Li Auto is beating Tesla in China's EV sales. Actually, the vehicle that delivering is not a lot. Only 41,700 to 72,600 vehicle a month. Not a lot, but it's beating Tesla. Then you can see Tesla's shares drop 5% after HSBC calls it a very expensive auto company because of the PE. We talked about it few weeks before that Tesla is very expensive now, right? If she lose the China market, then it's quite hard for him to maintain the share price, right? We talked about it before already. And then we know that Shein, right, from China is very hot for fast retailing. And now there is another one called Temu. Temu is the mother company of Pinduoduo, right? And then she is also going into the fast retailing industry. And then she has an app in Japan and South Korea. And then selling the things is very cheap, right? Fast retailing, right, means clothes, apparel, something like that. Cheap one, not expensive, right? You can see that selling cheap goods sell to Japan and South Korea. So if you just ban TikTok, then another come up Shein. If you ban Shein, then another come up that is Temu, right? That means the goods the apparel is good and then the price is cheap, something like that, right? That's the meaning. And then final one is Trade Desk, right? I love this stock, right? This stock is very advanced, right? And then did a good job in before. And then you can see that after the COVID-19 reopened, and then it bounced back to somewhere more than 100. And then it dropped it recently. And then yesterday, because of the focus is not good. Yesterday, you can see that the after the market, the stock dropped it more than 28%, $21. That means tonight, when the market reopen, Trade Desk will become 55. That means just a little bit higher than the bottom. We still need to wait before we can invest on this company because you can see that the PE ratio is still more than 300, right? But this is a very good company with a very good idea on that. Okay, we talk about ARM. So you can see that for the ARM just been launched to the market in few months, and then the stock price is 60, and then now is 51. Not dropped a lot, right? Not dropped a lot. Why? Because she has sold that, and then she is the monopoly, right? That's the main thing, right? So the way of ARM to earn money is right, very simple. ARM, which has the monopoly, ARM is more than 90% owned by SoftBank. That is from Japan, right? It's owned more than, should be 90.9% owned by SoftBank in Japan, right? So you can see that ARM, right? Then she has the software. That software is very, very complicated, right? And then you can also name it as a technology, right? Then she has some way to earn the money is then a license and you to use the technology, right? To what? Semiconductor partners. And then the partner develop the chips, then make the blueprint, and then sell to the OEM customer, like what? Like Nvidia, or like Samsung, like other giant, right? Like Qualcomm, something like that, right? And then they pay two kind of prices to ARM. One is the royalty, and then one is the license. And then license will have the limit that maybe I sell the license to you only for 1 year, right? Or for 2 years, or for a project, something like that, right? And for the royalty, right? For the royalty, then is you can see the processor can ship for more than 20 years, and then 3 or 4 years from license to royalty, and then 2 or 3 years to design new processor. So royalty is in hook of your sales, right? If you sell 1 million, then maybe you should get 20%. If you sell 10 million, then she also get 20%, right? That is in hook of the sales, right? And the license is a fixed amount, right? So that makes ARM only focus on the software technology and then sell it out, right? So you can see that there is a must. The royalties revenue, of course, is much better than the license, because the royalty is whenever you use the ARM. Right now, actually, all the advanced chips has to use ARM to design for the blueprint. Right, it's very complicated. Right, but license is a fixed amount, only a fixed amount. Right, but for royalty, if you sell more, then she earns more. So inevitably, you can see that the royalty amount is increasing, but the license up and down, something like that, because it's one time in one period. And ARM is also growing focus on AI. She is continuously enhancing the software, right? Very complicated, and then is very delicate. If you need to make the most advanced chips, then you have to use her software. So you can see that, right? She is increasing, right? Focusing on the AI, right? And then China and non-China, because of the U.S. conflict, then you can see that non-China then pay about more than 60%, right? And the China percentage is still low, something like that, right? And we take a look on the figures. Total revenue, this is not in million, this is in, sorry, not in million, this is in thousand. You can see that from November to last November, the total revenue is 2.8 billion US dollar, compared with about half year before, 2.67, only increased a little bit, not much, only increased a little bit. But the net income is very, very, very disappointing. 180,000 US dollar only. But for half year before is 524,000 US dollar. So it backworks quite a lot. And then you can see that for the basic earning per share, just 18 cents. And then half year before, 51 cents, 54 cents, and then 38 cents. So we can see that the US and China conflicts It really hurts. ARMs, and then we can see that NVIDIA now is designing very special chips, especially for China. It's not violating US restriction. But ARM cannot do that, right? Can ARM design another technology, another program, just for China's use, right? No, because the program is very, very complicated. She should do that, right? She should do that. If she do it in 2 or 3 years before, then maybe she can keep the income. You can see that the revenue increased just a little bit and a little bit, but you can see the operating expense very, very high. Half year before 1.89 billion US dollar, but now what 2.55. Why so high? A lot of enhancement, right? A lot of them. That's the problem. And then we can see that then the good thing for ARM is she nearly has no debt. Only in 1 year before she had 50,000 debts, right? Now no debts, right? This is the good point. Then we can see that the free cash flow is quite high, 901,000 US dollar. Compared with before, it go back to 2 years performance. 2 years before is the golden time of ARM. Well, it's a golden time of ARM because US still okay for the chips, right? Still do not have so many restrictions. A lot of people, then even China can use the ARM, but now no, right? China nearly disappear, and then we have to wait for India, we have to wait for Vietnam, other to rise up to replace China. So it may still take some time. But we can see that the stock price of ARM does not fall a lot. Why? Because she does not have debts. You can see that, no debts. Right? And also, she got the monopoly of the software. But I do not recommend investor to invest at this time, right? Because we don't know how long it will take. So we can see that still ARM does not have a PE ratio, right? Does not have a PE ratio because now is right, the net income is worse than previous, so still do not have the PE ratio, and the market cap is quite small, 52.8 billion US dollar only, very small, right? We know that, right? It's very small. Then it should be over 100, something like that, right? So, but do not look down on this stock because when India comes up, when Vietnam comes up, other comes up, then maybe she suddenly have a lot of orders to use them, and then suddenly the stock price may rise more than double. We do not know, right? So take a good watch on this stock, but do not invest at this moment. We still have to observe for 1 or more quarter first. Okay, thanks guys for watching, and then please give me LCS, right? Like, comment, share, and then subscribe, and then press the bell icon next to it. Okay, hope everyone have a very peaceful weekend. See you guys next Friday. Bye bye.